Welcome to Lost Without Japan, a travel podcast about the life-changing experiences of exploring Japan and those moments we would be lost without. For your listening pleasure, allow me to introduce your very own Kanko Guido, Michael.
Welcome to this week's episode of Lost Without Japan. This is a podcast based on Japan and your Lost Without moments. I am your director of travel for TKIC Studio Productions, and coming to you today with positive thoughts and excitement for your journey and just trying to work on my own positive thoughts and things like that. I'll keep it kind of short, but it's like I've had some issues with my heating and AC unit. I am excited about today's episode because this is something I've been kicking around for quite a while, and that is kind of recording an episode together with you, the listener, listening, as if you were planning this yourself. I'll tell you what I'm doing, tell you what I'm using, and this is something, if you want to just save, bookmark, reference, whatever it is, to go back to when you're planning your own trip. And this is going to be something that I've not looked at yet. This is going to be new to you. So apologies in advance for this day trip episode that it's not just listing a bunch of things that I've already researched. But I really do think it's going to be worthwhile for those that have listened and gone before, or those of you that have not been to Japan yet, especially just, as much as myself likes to give Osaka grief but it's not because of what Osaka's city itself has to offer. It has quite a bit to offer, and there's no doubt about that. But it's really, for me, the transit system, like getting there and getting out of there. Doesn't matter if it's by airport, by train, what it is. It is one of my more least enjoyable places to go to. So, again, not because of things to do, but like I said, just because of the train stations that are there and how, your airport isn't near where you need to be, then trying to get to stations that have the same names. I'm not going to go too far into it. You've heard it all before. If you haven't, you can reach out like you did at a listener of the show who may be a future guest who's talking about he's finally, caught up on all of our episodes that we have. So now he has to wait like everyone else. So let's get one ready for him and let's get going with today's episode before I ramble too much. But we're going to go to Osaka, and this is going to be something that I'm looking to do with my daughter here in a few years. One of the reasons that I'm going back to Osaka with them as opposed to just skipping it altogether is something that we found while researching their favorite animal, marine wildlife, and that is a whale shark. And we were just having this discussion one night and said, hey, I wonder if that's something you can see in person, like if you go to an aquarium. And we both didn't think so, but we're like, let's check. And it turns out there's actually a few. There's three. There's one that is in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, in the US of A. There's one that is in Osaka, and that's the one we're going to be talking about today. And there's another in Okinawa. So, being that is like I said, my daughter's favorite animal, I have a feeling we're going to end up going there. So let's research this together. Let's find some lodging. Let's find some places to eat. We'll get going and go on from there. So if you want, you can click on the Google Map links that I'll provide for you, in today's show notes, so that you can follow along with this. I'll also give the name of different websites we're going to use, and we're going to get started with that. So, as it comes no surprise, I guess I should say, first place we're going to begin is just on Google Maps, my friends. And I have put in Osaka Aquarium Kaiyukan. And it has 49,812 reviews with a 4.4 out of 5. reviews. I think it's pretty darn amazing. Looking at their official site, if you're going down, it says that tickets are around $18.62. Klook has it for $18.65. Trip.com has it pretty much, all around that saved thing. One thing that I'm going to do so that we can do this together and I don't forget about it is I have saved it into a Google Maps location, my friend. So like if it's your trip, if this is like, week 1, week 2, week 3, just a city that you're going to, however you're going to save it, go ahead and start that off yourself. And this says that it is in Osaka in the Minato ward. But one thing I'd like to do first is just go to the official site, just so that we can see kind of some pricing and things. I do so through Google. Let it translate itself to English for myself, that again, Japanese aren't there. And it does look like pricing does range depending on the day. Looks like they have some surge pricing in effect, going upward of 3,500 yen down to 2,700 yen. And it says for 16 and over, your pricing can be as low as 2,700 and go up to 3,500 yen. Between 7 and 15, 1,400 yen up to 1,800 yen. And those below ages 3 through 6, 700 yen for the A days up to 900 yen. Children under 2 are free. They do accept credit cards, it says on the site. And some, like Pizza Pa, like at the counter only. So you can go ahead and buy advance tickets, which will be on sale until opening time of the day of your visit. And they recommend buying those in advance, which is what I would tell you as well. There are tickets that you can purchase in person, but you are going to have to wait till your arrival time, and you run the risk. Like if I go in, let's say, I show up to the aquarium, I don't know even when it's opened yet. So that's something we need to look at together too. But it's, let's say we arrive at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever it is. Buy our ticket, we may not be able to go in until 3 p.m. or if at all, because they have a set number of people that can visit per day. Looks like. So let's go to our ticket. We're going to just pick a day off in the future. We're going to keep the settings to be English. Looks like they have convenience store payments through 7-Eleven, Lawson's, Family Marts, credit cards, and PayPay. And it says, okay, so there is the tickets that are available on here. Looks like you have to register. It says like WebCat new member registration currently on sale. An advanced e-ticket you can purchase. And again, this is how I would do it for the show. It says you can purchase them up to 30 days before your planned trip. So you'd have to set an alarm, make sure to have your time zones and things, be set to. I'm a day, they're a day ahead of us here, in Chicago. So I need to take that into effect. And I would really want to be 30 days out, buy my ticket, and not mess around when those tickets go on sale. And there are discounts, they had for some people with disabilities and things. Let's just click on buy tickets and look at our advanced tickets. Purchasing tickets for resale is prohibited. You can change dates and time, the same price range up to 2 times. So that's good. So if it looks like you have to change it, you can through the site. We'll go through. We're going to agree, close this out. And so right now they have through May, June. So it's like, it looks like all of the days for June are blue. So that's good. You're looking to go in June. So I'm just gonna try to look through to see what we can have. And it says right now looks like they're blue for there. And let's go back to our month. Again, May, our times that are in here. Looks like they have our stuff that's here. So I'm on May. I can click on June. If you scroll down, right now it's through June 10th, and that would make sense, being that I'm recording this on May 10th. So I'm going to click on June 10th as far as out, and it has your time that you can select from 10 to 10:15 all the way down to 6:30 to 6:45 at night. Don't know that I'd recommend that one. But let's say we sleep in a little bit and let's do 10:30. It is for that date 2,700 yen per adult. Put those in, being that myself and my daughter will be that time. Again, it has the pricing for elementary age. Those younger than that has me around 5,400 yen. Um, and then I'm going to look to add to cart to see other products because that's something that would be interesting as well. And then it just shows Hayukin and Santa Maria like set tickets and a Captain Line set tickets that are on sale to go. Let's check and see what those are, my friend. And see, it says set tickets that are on sale. Oh, one looks like so it looks like you have the aquarium, then you can go out on this wooden boat. I'm gonna pass on going out onto the wooden sailing boat, my friends. I have motion sickness, and that's just, you know what, pass. But if you are interested in it, it is on there too. They also have a looks like a ferry ticket as well, like another instead of a sailboat, looks like a more of just what you would expect to see out on the ocean or a lake, larger boat that you could go out sightseeing for. Like one-way tickets, round trip tickets, all types of things. And yeah, so like again, if you're going to look through your times, for this, you have everything that's here. Again, you can buy tickets for all those different like heading out like to's and froms on here. And again, if I was doing this for the show, I would look to do more research on this. Is it going to be sightseeing? Is this to get you from one, location to the next? I will save the looking too far into that, but if I was going to be doing that on my own, I would definitely do so. It does have our tickets. I'm going to go ahead and close ourselves out, go to view cart, and they have, looks like an, on X, they do have like social media that you can follow as well. So proceed to check out. And it says your cart will expire within 12 minutes. You can look to register. You can log in with Line if you have it. You can log in with X, formerly Twitter. And it looks like you have to verify some authentication codes. The only thing that I'd want to make sure of is that you can pay for these using US or UK or wherever you're coming from, your credit cards. That'd be the only thing I'd look to. And if you go through the site and it's not able to let you do that, that's where Klook and those other spots come in handy because they allow you to purchase those things from our side of the water, and you don't have to rely upon, a Japanese credit card to do that. So I would, though, try to just book through the site, go from there, and keep on going, my friends. So that is what I would do. So this is why I'm going. So what is your why you're going? If you have a city or things in mind, I like to begin with that. And then I like to kind of see where is this located, kind of pan back out from the city. And it is not, as you would expect, like right smack dab in the middle of Osaka. It's on the outskirts of it. So that's going to change just by looking at this, kind of the trip to begin with. So we're going to have to use some sort of form of travel. It looks like they have some, if you're looking at the maps right now, they have some different ferries that you can run out of this Osaka aquarium like area. A little south of that, they do look like they have some things that are running as well to go to other locations and spots, but this is where we're starting from, okay? So what I would do next is once I have this kind of bookmarked, I would go nearby. Now, for my daughter and I, when we go, mainly why we're going to Osaka is going to be to go to this aquarium. So I'm going to look for lodging that's nearby it. If this was only one part of what you wanted to do and you wanted to be like, in Osaka for multiple days, and this is only one of the things you're doing, you got to think about that. Because I'm assuming that most of us aren't going to be going to the aquarium like 5 days in a row. There though, I can't fault those of you that would, especially when you're going to talk about this a little bit more. But I would kind of just say, okay, where am I going to be around it? If you look at the Google Maps location of things, you can click nearby and check it out. But just real quick before we move on, pricing really isn't that bad. I just want to go to reviews as I would with anything else. But one of the real reasons to go is the whale shark. And this aquarium is one of the largest aquariums in the entire world. And I feel like this could really be the bulk of your day, if not the day. And just kind of scrolling through reviews right now, the whale shark tank, they say, immediately caught their eye. It is quite large with several corners to explore on it. They saw two whale sharks swimming gracefully in the tank when they visited. The biggest aquarium they've ever been to. Amazing wildlife. Went just to see the whale sharks. That'd be me. But we ended up seeing so much more that made it incredibly worthwhile. And then one of the reasons I like to go to the review section is A, make sure it's worth my time. But B, you'll find people that kind of give like their recommendations. They went, they learned some things, and they want to share them with you. And they did that. So they said my main piece of advice would be to Nakai, the first couple of windows when you get to the whale shark tank, you have nearly a dozen different spots to view the tank from a variety of angles and heights. So walk around there and get a much later view later on. So like they're saying, don't just get stuck with everybody else in the first few windows. Walk around it. It's a massive tank. You're going to get a much better view later on when you don't have up to 1 million people, crammed into that same spot. Let me take a drink there. That's also important while you're searching for your place to go to. Keep yourself hydrated. So we have this as well. They're just like I kind of said, scroll through. Is there anything they recommend? If you're doing this, you want comfy shoes. And then my other thing I would search that I'm not going to do at this point in time. Can you bring in your own like water, some snacks? I like to do that for the aquariums. For us at home, just something to snack on, especially if it's going to be a longer day. But just a lot of people say it's definitely worth the wait, definitely worth the money. While it is it's no longer currently the biggest aquarium in the world. I guess it was surpassed by one in Dubai 3 weeks. It says three weeks ago for a review. Still worth a visit. So this was at one point the largest aquarium in the world. Looking at these pictures and oh my gosh, my friends, like just take a moment, pause me, go look through these, and click on that show links and stuff. Amazing. Now, one other thing that I would like to do when I do day trip episodes is where am I coming from? So am I coming from Tokyo? Am I coming from Osaka? Am I coming from Hiroshima, Fukuoka? Where was I coming from before this point in time? And I still have not quite yet decided how I want for Addison's first experience with Japan, to be. Do we want to fly into Tokyo? One of the airports that are there. Do we want to fly into Osaka? Get the aquarium and then, go from there. Like to go see my friends in Hiroshima, just as a nice kind of like transitioning to Tokyo type of thing. I'm kind of kicking back and forth the idea of like flying into maybe Tokyo, flying out of Osaka, or flying into Osaka and out of Tokyo. Reason being, we could kind of work our way across. We're going to try to be there for at least 2 weeks, if not closer towards, like 3 weeks, like 19, 20 days, something like that, just so we can see a bunch. And part of me has the idea of like if we kind of work across Japan, either from the south to the north or north to the south, it'd be kind of fun to, fly in, see my friends, and then go see the rest of everything there is. But part of me's torn and like, hey, I'd love to fly in, see them, and then see them one more time before we end up flying back out again. Just I'd have to come back towards Osaka to do so, and I am not excited about that. So, but just think about like what you're looking to do. So if you're looking to where you're looking to end, where you're looking to begin, figure that out. We'll go from there. I'm going to assume, for sake of this, that I'm flying from Osaka airport to get to this location. So I like to use Rome to Rio to start things off, just because it gives a listing of buses and airplanes and trains and ferries and cars. It's just a great like starting point. That is Rome, the letter 2, and then Rio.com. So I'm going to put in Osaka. I'm going to put in Japan, Osaka, Japan, like for us, our airport. Uh, and I'm going to go with Kicks because that's where a lot of times you end up flying into. And then I'm going to go to Osaka Aquarium. And I found it. And we're going to see all of our options, because if we're flying into Osaka, then we're going to go there. And if you pull up and kind of do the same thing with me, my friends, I really like, for today's episode, not if you're driving, of course, but I like, if you're home and able to, or on your phone as you're listening, just pull these things up, do these yourself. It's going to help you out to get into the practice of doing these. And when you do your own, it's going to be fantastic. Okay. But it says there's 5 ways to travel from Osaka Kansai Airport to the aquarium. One of them is by bus for an hour, 4 minutes, between $7 and $13. By train for an hour and 26 minutes for $8 to $10. Driving or by taxi. And the taxi is $120 to $150, dollars US. So I would not recommend that. However, if you have the finances to do that, my friend, just do it. I mean, like, we wouldn't necessarily be going to, directly to the aquarium, most likely, probably to where our lodging is. But I like to see what that is. There is a train. And if I'm looking at the map that they have here, from Kansai Airport to this aquarium, there's parts by foot, there's parts by train. So let's just see. Train would probably be what I would end up doing. And they have a Kansai Airport rapid service, which, if you've been in there, you've done. It's between $7 and $9 per person. The only thing about that is, if you have all your luggage, from your airport, what I would recommend doing is, when you're in Osaka's airport, is just have it be sent to your hotel. There's a bunch of different spots that you can go to, like for luggage services. I would recommend booking a hotel, not booking through a sites like Airbnb or other ones that may be like apartments or things to go to. Starting your trip off, have it be an airport. That way you can get your luggage sent directly there. And if you are looking to go from airport directly to the aquarium, you don't have to worry about your bags. You know what I mean? Like, you grab what you need, you pop a train, you don't have all that hassle of things that are there. I recommend having like at least a day trip bag with you, with a day or two's of clothes, your toiletries, your medications and things, just in case something happens. Your batteries for your cell phones and things. I would do that, and then you don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, my friends, you're going to be like with all your luggage in a train not meant for luggage. Um, hit or miss. But if you have to, you have to, right? So again, Rome to Rio provided a lot of different options. That's a lot of what I like to do. So I know that there are a variety of ways to go there. There's some different trains. There's some with transfers. It tells you every 30 minutes they leave. There's one for every 10 minutes. There is a 10-minute walk from the last stop to the aquarium. So, like I said, Rome to Rio is usually what I go to start things off once I have things set. So we know we have from the airport coming out there what we can do. The train gets into, and if one of the reasons like Rome to Rio, it tells you where to get off, and it's Ben Tencho, Osaka. is what it gets you off as the area in Osaka that you want to kind of aim for. Binshinso Station, it looks like, because it's going to be the last thing that's there that you're getting off on. And that's now I'm at the point of like, let's find some lodging. Okay. So we are going through, looking. Once we have the aquarium, we know what we're doing. We have how we're going to get there from our airport. Let's move ourselves over. I'm back at Osaka's aquarium. And what I'm going to do, my friends, is I'm going to do two things. Number one, I'm going to clear out our Osaka aquarium and I'm going to put in that last train stop. The one that was on our like Rome to Rio portion of things, and just see what like you have from here, and kind of go from there. I also like from Rome to Rio, you can also pull up kind of like Expedia just to get some ideas. So you can just go directly into Google, and so I kind of do both. I'll check like Expedia's Rome to like through Rome to Rio. I'll check our others. So let's just click nearby Osaka Aquarium. It'll pull up restaurants, hotels, bars, and pubs. Depending on how your flight went, maybe that's going to impact what you decide. And I look here, and there's a lot of different choices. There's a 4-star hotel currently on sale right now for around $105 a night, called the Lieber Hotel Osaka. I've got 2,607 reviews of 4.5. It's pretty darn amazing. I like to put in kind of just like look through what's here. There's Legenta Hotel Osaka, the Parkfront Hotel at Universal Studios Japan. So now I'm looking at this. The aquarium is there. I know that Universal Studios is nearby. The Parkfront Hotel for that is also here. So you're already beginning just by looking at things around it. You got different ideas of things we can do. So we could do Universal Studios. We could do our aquarium on the first day. I could ask them if they want to go to Universal Studios, which I think they may. Kind of have to talk that through. But that's right now how I come up with ideas for the show, is start looking at areas, that are in that. Something may catch your eye. I kind of look through for deals. And then those places that have nice reviews and a large number of reviews, and I kind of check them out. So for sake of time right now, we have one of the things that pop up towards the top. There is that Lieber Hotel Osaka. It has a spa. It has air conditioning, breakfast. I see that it is on sale less than normal. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to read the reviews before I add it into my choices. It has some amazing views, it looks like. I see a 5.5 out of 5. And one of the things they give you most relevant, or to what your search is, which they think it is. I like to flip it to the newest, because if it's under construction, that's going to pop up. If there's something currently going on, that's going to pop up. And looks okay. So one of the things is hotels right in front of the train station, next to Universal Studios Japan. The rooms are compact and clean. So it's like 4 out of 5. It's here. The location from the view from the windows also nice. Says there's a hot springs. This one's kind of scrolling through. So here's one again, like they give a recommendation, like to change it to a room with 2 beds, separate rooms. Like saying, again, that thing of like if you're traveling to Japan, don't count your kids as free. That they're not gonna have to pay for them. Or if you have that, the beds may be super small. So just think about them wanting to have their own separate, just paying as if you're paying for somebody. There's some people that are going for the World Expo, which is nearby. Okay, so like again, you start attacking things on. Look at this already. So like David, who's going in front of the show, is going to be going to the World Expo. This is now also by the area. So just like this, my friends, we have Universal Studios, we have the World Expo, we have the aquarium, and none of that is actually getting downtown to Osaka yet. It's one. Then I scroll down a little bit more. It's one station away from Universal. So all of these things are here. I see a lot of positive things that are here. For a lot of different things. But there's one of the 2 days out of here that they had some poor service. when they were traveling by themselves instead of with a family. Don't know too much of what that is. One of the things I do like to do is this. So before I could save this one here in a moment, but one thing I like to type into the search option when you click on the review tab is just I like to type in English or whatever language that you want. So one of the people had this that said 9 months ago is that this is in a poor location. You need to make many transfers and change stations to get to actually the Osaka city. Staff can hardly understand English. 2 restaurants only open for limited times. 1 buffet, 1 for steak. No coffee rooms. No further explanation was given. It was saying like iron became available. They were waiting for an iron. They weren't able to communicate. They were struggling to communicate in English with them about when that iron was available. They tried very hard to speak English and were polite. I'd try that Google Translate, my friends. So just no, like you can scroll through and there's like quite a few people. Like there's different people that are on here. This is no different than other ones you go to. There's a bath tax each night. So like there's some taxes that could be added on to what you have, so you could have it on. Beds, different levels of comfortableness, to it. But it's just all all over the place. So just some people that are looking to try to use English only. Like my friends, use the app, try to type back and forth, do what you need to. When you get off one of these areas, it's here. So I could put in the Liber Hotel Osaka. For me, I'm like, it looks very nice. I've looked at pictures. I saw my reviews. I saw that they may not, you're not just going to have someone in English. It's something you have to get past just travel in general when you go around the world. It's not going to just have that, available for you, right? So another one option is larger. There's a 4.0. There's a Hotel Universal, a couple of them that are right near Universal tower stations and things. I would probably, like, really for me, the distance is the most important part, because we could do a cab using the Tokyo Go. But it would be nice to just walk and go through. So for what I see, I have it. It's fine. If I'm scrolling down, I see reviews starting to get to like 3.4, 3.8, 4.2. If something catches your, fancy, look at that. There's 3 stars, 2 stars. Find out what you want, but I'd say like the Liber Hotel Osaka is probably a great bet. And then I would just do the one that's kind of below that. That's not like I might say, like, if I really think, like Addison says, yes, I want to do Universal Studios, I might actually just pick one near Universal Studios and take a cab for our day at the aquarium. Use the Taxi Go app, because you're in a big city. You're going to be able to do that for it. So let's check real quick for the Parkfront Hotel at Universal Studios. It's a 4.4 again. More expensive though. It is $164 a night US per person. So real quick, just click on the reviews, see what you have. I'll save this one to our site as well. I'm going to type in real quick. My search is English, and then I'm going to do most recent. English. Front desk and staff were very helpful and friendly whenever we needed them, and they were able to converse in English, which was handy. Which was, saved you from trying, they said, saved us from the embarrassment of using Google Translate. Now, my friends, you have a decision to make, right? This is English-speaking staff, and you check to see when these reviews are. Was it a couple years ago? It may not be current. No, my friends, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, English-speaking staff. So for you, instead of spending $105 a night, it might be worth that $60 a night. Me, it would be another 4-star hotel. So if your pricing allows, I'd do it. So I'd say Parkfront Hotel at Universal Studios. Being the fact they're right at Universal Studios, I'm sure they get even more foreigners than your aquarium, or further out would. especially since you're not like downtown Osaka with what you're doing. If you're downtown Osaka and coming in, again, you saw by doing the reviews, it's not really totally convenient. You can't just one shot from here to Osaka, downtown Osaka, and you can't go from Osaka downtown here with one shot. You're going to have transfers. I bet I know the stations they're talking about too, because they're the ones that give me a headache, and it is not enjoyable in any way, shape, or form. So, but yeah, so I'm going to save these two to what we have in the Osaka Aquarium episode. So now we have, I'm going to also put in Universal Studios as well, just because, we're here, we're there, we're everywhere. That was something that popped up, so I can add that. The World Expo is going on. You could look into that. You could start saving places that are nearby. But what we're going to do next is, we have where we're going to, the aquarium. We have 2 places to lodge. Now we want to start looking at places to eat, my friends. And I also like to look for convenience stores as well, just both by the aquarium and other ones that are here. So we're going to go to our Universal Studios Japan theme park. We have that saved in our spot. I'm going to go to what we picked for lodging. Again, 2 different options, prices. I'm going to go to the Parkfront Hotel at Universal Studios Japan. I'm going to go nearby, and then I'm going to, and I've been here, so I know like the case of these things are. So this necessarily is not a great location if you're going to start looking for convenience stores or a place to eat. You're kind of down and separate from where it is. But you also, by looking at the map, one thing that Sam and I wanted to do, we weren't able to, there's Super Nintendo World. So just scroll out on that map, my friends. The big things are going to be pulling up there. And now we have, we could have a week here right now, my friends. We have the Super Nintendo World. We have the Universal Studios. We have the World Expo. We have the aquarium. Like right now, you have a week, time that you could spend in Osaka without actually being downtown Osaka. Tack on going downtown Osaka, and suddenly our day trip could become multiple day trips, or just pick the things that you want to do the most. So we have all of these things going on. Let's save that. See what happens. You start putting all these different things in, and boom, you're here. So Super Nintendo World's here. We're going to go back to the Parkfront Hotel one more time. Again, scroll out, scroll in, on that where it's the actual map. See what's there. Let's click nearby. I'm going to go through convenience stores and type it in. You can do that in Japanese and in English. If you're looking for like ramen, ramen, I would recommend just like Google translating what you're looking for Japanese, because you're going to get things that don't pop up if you just type in the English translation of what it is. And I start looking. There's a Family Mart, and it's a bit a ways. The Lawson's Universal, which I went to with Sam. A 7-Eleven's about 4 minutes away. So there's quite a few Family Marts, other ones. There's quite a few Lawson's convenience stores that are here. So this, if you're looking to grab snacks and bottled water for the day, boom, you're here. Wonderful, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and click on one that's in the area, that's at that, that's not the one that's actually at Universal. So kind of just scroll through, click, see how far they are by bus, by walking. I'm going to put one in. I would save, I scroll through these, see which ones work the best for you. And I'm going to save one of these into our maps. It's not necessarily the best one. I would take the time to, look through these myself. But this is when I start getting ideas, start putting everything in. Now that I have that out of the way, if we're in Osaka, what is Osaka known for? So you could go, just if you don't know, like onto Reddit, onto Google, you could just, do a quick search, Osaka, like best foods, best known for, what are they known for? and see what pops up, and then if anything pops like into your like the search as far as things go that you hit your fancy, then check it out. So Osaka, and you could say food is known for, and I know my friends, like we've talked about this before in past episodes, but I'm just doing this again as if I'd come to this for the first time. And it does real quick. It says taiyaki, okonomiyaki, um, also known for its ramen, udon, especially the kitsune udon, kishikatsu, deep fried skewers. So you could pick any of these and be like, man, this is the one that sounds the best to me. And I would probably put okonomiyaki as mine. So I'm going to keep it there. Type in okonomiyaki into the search again. You can put the Japanese translation of it. Try one also in English. So I've typed in okonomiyaki, and it says, super delicious with noodles, light, crisp side. This is when I start looking for reviews, and one of them up towards the top is 4.6. I see a 4.7. I see a 4.2. I start looking at the number of reviews they have. If the number is large and the rating is still good, that's great. So one of the ones that pops up here is it says busy, but it's 1,560 reviews, and it has still almost a 5.0. Now, here's the thing. This is a bit of ways, but I'm going to save this because that many reviews and still to almost be close to 5, that might be a like, hey, let's just hop the train and go. Check this out. It is near the big tower that's out there in Osaka as well. But that's a bit of a trip. When I do that, then I want to click directions. I start looking at the things that I've searched. So I'm going to do the Parkfront Hotel Universal as starting point. How far away is this? And it says, I apologize, my friends. It says about like 24 minutes or like anywhere from 24 to 50 minutes by train, depending on which trains you get. That is something you want to take into effect. It says about 20 minutes by car. So maybe this is a taxi option. You could look at pricing again. Not a walking option or your own mode of transportation, self-transportation, 2 hours and 10 minutes, not the way to go. About 50 minutes for bike. So again, this isn't just something you could pop to. Like, you get tired of walking around the aquarium. If you're able to leave and come back, like, I want to pop out, get something to eat, come back the following day. This would be something that's later. So we're going to pop back just a second, back into our search. And we see, again, like I said, that there's quite a number of things that you have, like okonomiyaki. So we're going to go back in, do a search one more time. There's one that is 4.6 with 61 reviews that is significantly closer. I'm going to save that as well into that Osaka Aquarium list. I look at the reviews, and then I see that Translate is one of the ones that is searched. And the food is amazing. Being a translator, but don't let this imitate you. The place is outstanding. So much food. The owner is very nice. I'd recommend knowing Japanese or having Google Translate ready. That's it. Done. So you have someone who's nice, willing to work with foreigners. Just have your Google Translate ready. Let's go. Let's go. Looks great. So I've saved this one in our maps as well. One other thing I'd like to do when I'm in that area as well is I'd like to search where I'm staying in this place, the lodging. And going downtown Osaka from here is not going to be fun. So honestly, I would just recommend doing the things that are out in this area and then just moving everything, your luggage and you, to downtown Osaka for the rest of it. There's so much to do though in this area just from this little search that we've had. You could go from there. One other thing that I'd like to do and try to have a search of is I also want to do breakfast. I'd like to do coffee. I like to do lunch. So let's do those real quick. We can tack on some things that are here. So I'm here again. I go back to the hotel, or like if you want to look for something like I'm going to be at the aquarium this day, click on the aquarium, go nearby on the button, put in breakfast and coffee, and see what's there. So if you know you're going to be in a place, don't just keep searching your hotel, search where you're at. So go to the aquarium, go to Universal Studios, go to Nintendo World, and search around that, and find what you can. So I'm back at the hotel. You could look into what is available at the food, for the hotel itself. But again, I'm going to leave that for you all to search. Again, if I was, doing this myself, something I'd look to. So go back to it, restaurants nearby. And there's looks like there's something that's from Universal. There's a bubblegum shrimp. So you can tell, like, hey, Detective Conan Mystery Restaurant. Oh, man. Sorry, just 1 second. I'm putting that in because that is just as cool can be. The anime Detective Conan. That looks like there's some sort of like secret restaurant that's kind of going on. Not secret, but just the mystery restaurant. So it's the whole series. It is though a tourist, designated spot at $60 basically a person. So this is all around Universal Studios. So cool. 3 Broomsticks, a British restaurant. So a lot of Red Lobster. So a lot of what you see here, there's a Hard Rock Cafe, my friend, a Finnegan's. This is not your typical Japan thing, but this could also be fun. I got to tell you, like when I'm in Japan for any length of time, and especially when Addison and I go, 3 weeks is a long time. So having this is like part of your adventure, and knowing that you could go to some things that you could find back home, that's cool. Snoopy's Backlot Cafe. There's, oh my gosh, my friends, so many great. There's a Shake Shack. Oh, okay. There's a beef restaurant. There's a grill. Man, I've saved, a couple more things in here. So when you're doing it, all of these things are popping up. This is amazing. Just keep on saving what you have. Once it's done with that restaurant search, I'm going to type in coffee. I love to know what my coffee options are ahead of time. They have Thule's coffee, which we've reviewed before. There's a Starbucks, and if you need to break money, that is always a life hack of the show. If you have like $100 equivalent yen bill, go to Starbucks, buy your coffee. They'll give you the change back. They never bat an eye at doing it. But that's here. There's a 9 Bourdain coffee with 841 reviews of 4.6. There's Good Siphon coffee with 40 reviews. You just kind of look as how far away they are. Thule's is 1 minute from the hotel. Starbucks is 4 minutes by car. The 9 Bourdain, which like has a huge number for review, is going to be more of a trip, like a 15-minute. It says, like, searching through, you see this like directions from the park front. By car, about 12 minutes. Walking, not an option. Hour 36. You could look at the train. Looks like it's going to be anywhere from 30 to 40 something minutes. They weren't kidding, because if you get the correct trains, it's 25 minutes. If you don't, there's so many trains, like lines that go through this area. You could be at an hour, like an hour, like you get like with the number of stops and transits and things that you have. So I would, just by looking at this is again something that you see. That is not something that like makes me excited to go do. So I would not do the transit for this. This is just me personally. It's a 12-minute car ride. Do a taxi. If this is really something that hits you like your fancy, don't be against doing that. Use the app. You're able to put in where you want to go. Not sponsored by the show. Like where you want to go back. You just give someone a number, look it up in Japanese. Just tell them the number or show them your phone. You're good to go. So that coffee place was just something that jumped out at me because, again, when you start getting into close to 1,000 reviews and you're still near a 5, this is something that I need to save. So I'll save that. I'll save, the Thule's coffee, since it's just right there, and still, it's not, it's 3.7. not horrible for Japan. I'll save the Starbucks just as a reminder if I need to get change or I just feel like a scone that day or my, not having to order in Japanese, that day. Just pointing, like consistency sometimes is also wonderful on a friend. So now I have my coffee. I have some places to eat. Last but not least, for what we're going to do today, because we're up there already for time. And this, just imagine, this is only a little bit of searching. So breakfast is what I'm going to type next. I go back to our hotel to do so. There's a snack bar. You have to see when it opens. A lot of these are 11 a.m., 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. I kind of scroll down and see. There's one that's 8 a.m. But it's, again, you're kind of like starting to get a little bit like there's it'd be more of a Japanese style breakfast. It says 8 a.m. opened up. 1,000 to 2,000 yen. And again, I would just do a quick directions for it and go back to like their Parkfront Hotel. And it says about like 35 minutes by train, 18 minutes by car. So I'm looking at these things and really there's not a lot that is near. I'd probably just stick with coffee and scones. And if I want just a slower start to the day and I don't mind doing the trains in this event, things that you could do that. There is a buffet style that opens at 10. So maybe if you want a late start to the day, you could do that. This is a 4.0. I'm going to do directions as well for that, just to see with what we have to this point. So choose that starting point again, Parkfront Hotel. It's a 5-minute walk. So there's your breakfast, like a little, spot of breakfast thing. It's here. It's completely in Japanese though. One of the options, the other is here. Start clicking on them, saving on them. And you could, again, just check those reviews. Again, don't just do most meaningful. Don't just take someone's hate or love of it. Do your own research. A lot of times people that hate on it that are foreigners, or people are like, oh my gosh, I'm somewhere and they don't know English. How could this be? It's like you're in a different country, right? Like sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's bad. But it was, I again searched to it, local reviews. Some of it says that prices was expensive, but expensive pricing sometimes for Japan. For some of these reviews, it could be a Japanese person that says expensive, doesn't mean that it is. And there are times where it is certainly expensive. Just kind of have to look at menus and reviews and things we have. Okay. Well, my friends, we're already at like 53 minutes of time. I don't know that that's going to be that when I'm done editing. But that's a good stopping point for it to now. If I go back to our Osaka saved map thing that I have up here, I have 14 places in 53 minutes, including my open and review that I've already put into a list and saved. This is something that you can share with people that are going on your trip, something that you could do to get ideas going. Because it's hard, like you'll go somewhere with somebody, they're like, hey, whatever you want to do, or I don't know. That puts a lot of pressure on you if you're the one hosting, brought it up or kind of like being put in this impromptu role of like you're in charge of the trip. I'd very much recommend start sharing these things that are here, asking people what they think, asking them to put things in, do it as far out as you can, and then start being a pest and pestering the closer it gets. Like when you're a month out, couple weeks out, like really have them start adding some things in and be insistent about it. Just say, hey, you may find something that I miss. I want us to have as amazing time as possible. So please just take a bit, go search, see what you got. So that is our day trip episode for today. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoyed this as kind of just something to walk through together. If you wouldn't mind having this be the case again. So, like, what a perfect time to go to Osaka, though. If you're sitting there and you have the funds right now, my friends, let's do it. Just go. If you have the funds and you have the opportunity and availability and all those things to go, like Osaka, put it on. Can't wait to talk with David now and share the list with them. So Remember, you've listened to this point. I truly appreciate it. If you want to reach out to the show, it's lostwithoutjapan@gmail.com or lostwithoutjapan on Instagram. Happy to answer questions before your trip, after your trip, while you're on your trip, no matter what it is. I'll do that with you. So please just follow, like, and comment on your favorite streaming service. Again, if you notice episodes are missing on some streaming services, Spotify, it's because they've been like AIing it and removing things, episodes of mine, because they have music in them. So you may have to look for episodes if you're looking through and you're like, I don't see 110 episodes, or I see some that are missing. Try Apple, try some other streaming services. That way you can get the whole catalog. If you enjoyed the episode for today, please, think about joining the show's Patreon. And that link will be in today's show notes as well. Thank you to all who have donated. I greatly appreciate it. And on behalf of Lost Without Japan and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip. We look forward to seeing you on board again. That is my alarm that it is time to be done, my friends. We look forward to seeing you on board again, nothing but professional, in 2 weeks on our next episode. So to everyone out there, Oginki Day, stay well, my friends.